Hello, everyone. I just want to make a real quick video talking about science and arguments for science and the truth of science. The fact that the question of whether or not science brings us truth about the world, right? So this is a question whether or not the scientific method leads us to true facts about the world. And I wanted to talk about this for a minute. Specifically, I wanted to talk about the argument that a lot of people make. It seems to be a sort of a favorite argument of Thunderfoot, for example. Other people involved with the League of Reason, for example, like to make this argument. And the argument goes something like this. Where'd you get your iPod? That's about it. No, I mean, I don't mean to be flippant about it, but that's the argument, and this is a real argument, right? It's something like this. Look at all the things that science has given us. Look at all the technology, all of things we use every day. Things that save lives. All of these ideas and all this useful information has come from science, and so science must work. So science must bring us true things because all these useful technologies that we've gotten from it. Now, the problem with this, that I see anyway, is that it's circular. It's begging the question. Now that might seem strange at first, but let me explain why. So, science basically, almost all the time, uses inductive reasoning. That is not deductive. Science doesn't use logical proofs to show scientific truths very often. A lot of the times, most of the time, science is deductive. We take some set of facts, or is inductive. Did I say deductive? I'm sorry. Well, really, that's not even true. I mean, what I'm talking about is an inference to the best explanation. Okay, science a lot of times uses this strategy to get at what it sees as knowledge or truth, right? Inference to the best explanation. Technically, this is abductive reasoning, but it's not really worth it to get into that right now. So if I say inductive over the course of this video, forgive me. Inference to the best explanation is technically abductive. But, so science uses this process a lot, inference to the best explanation. So we have this set of data. What best explains this? And we come up with some scientific explanation, some scientific theory. What explains whatever the slogan is about evolution, what explains the diversity of species and, yada, yada, yada. The answer is supposed to be evolution. It's the best explanation. So we make an inference to the best explanation for these things. Now, the reason why the iPod argument fails, and I think is circular, is because the argument presupposes the validity of the inference to the best explanation to prove the validity of the inference of to the best explanation, which I'm just going to shorthand label as science. Science is inference to the best explanation for the most part. I mean, almost all science is inference to the best explanation. Biology, all chemistry, most physics, all medicine, all geology, all this stuff is all inference to the best explanation. I mean, there might be some corners of physics that aren't, and certainly math isn't, if you even want to count that as a science. But all of those other sciences are only inference to the best explanation, as far as I can tell. And so the problem with the iPod argument is that it presupposes the validity of inference to the best explanation as a form of argument in trying to prove inference to the best explanation, i.e. science. And here's why. If we look at a set of facts, right, that the scientific method has gained us iPods, that's one fact. They have gained us all this medical, advances in medicine, that's another fact. They've gained us advances in astronomy. It's gained us, computer technology, video technology. We can list all the different things that science has given us, right? And then we're supposed to say from these facts, we should think that science works and science gives us truth. But this is an inference to the best explanation, right? What's the best explanation for the fact that the scientific method has given us all of these technological and informational advances? Well, the best explanation is that science gives us truth. Now, we can see the problem pretty quickly here. This is an inference to the best explanation, and yet we're using it to attempt to prove that science, aka inferences to the best explanation, gives us truth. So this is a circular argument because we're presupposing, at least implicitly, the validity of what we're trying to prove. We're presupposing inferences to the best explanation as valid forms of, as truth tracking, in order to prove that inferences to the best explanation are truth tracking. And to my mind, this is very problematic, and it fails as an argument. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I have some other thoughts that I might record a video about later, about the general discussion on YouTube about science versus anti-science and all that stuff, but I may not either. So we'll see. But anyway, that's my take on the iPod argument, and I would really love to hear some responses from people who disagree, from people who like this argument, or anybody else. So thanks.